Frozenbyte, if you're listening to me, I will fistfight you to let me change the ending. I'm Maple and happy 1 year anniversary since I originally filmed this video. I never actually finished editing it, and since it's been a literal entire year, I thought I should probably just refilm it. This year, we're still going to be talking about 9 Parchments and how much I hate the ending of this game. So, 9 Parchments. Nobody I've ever met has ever heard of this game, so a quick summary is in order. But first, to talk about this game, we're gonna need to talk about another game. That's right, today's video is sponsored by absolutely no one. I have
29
subscribers. In order to talk about 9 Parchments, we're first going to need to talk about the Trine series. Now, generic YouTuber with divorced parents who owns one of these chairs that their dad bought them because they used to use the chair from a dining room set, but it kept shedding all over the floor of the house their dad rents. Clone number 17. I hear you ask, why are we talking about the Trine series? This is about 9 Parchments. Trine is a series comprised of, well, 3 games before 9 Parchments. The first game being published in 2009 by Frozenbyte, who are the same developers for 9 Parchments. The Trine series follows 3 characters. Amadeus the Wizard, who his likes on his wiki are listed as flirting with women and getting free service at wizarding conferences. So wizarding conferences are something that exist. And he's currently stuck at the Astral Academy, which is a school that comes up frequently, and he can't graduate from there until he learns the fireball spell, which he is having great difficulty doing. There's Zoya the Thief. Meow. She wound up at the academy because she heard there was this really cool treasure she could steal, and her greatest fear is listed as turning into a princess. And Pontius the Knight, who isn't actually a knight, but he wants to be, and he used to be a caretaker for the Astral Academy, and one of his dislikes are listed as being hungry. They all get bound together by this thing called the trine, because they all touch it at the same time. The trine is this magical artifact that binds all 3 of their souls together, but it only allows one of them to exist at any time. The other 2 get trapped inside the trine, which gives you the mechanic in the series of being able to switch out the characters, frequently. But, God, that must suck. Could you imagine? Oh yes, sorry, I'm gonna be late for work. The wizard has taken control of my body. Guess I don't exist for a little bit. The background information for society at the moment within the Trine universe is that the kingdom is in political instability and general chaos because it's a monarchy and the king has died without leaving an heir. So, sucks to be them, I guess. But by the end, everything's cool, and they save the kingdom and let everything recover. Trine 2 is really just the Trine going, get up, we're going on an adventure. And we find out that there's these 2 sisters called Rosabelle and Isabelle who are part of the royal family. Rosabelle is the crown princess, and Isabelle was chosen to be queen, actually, because she was the favourite. Rosabelle just got ignored her entire life, and everyone was like, Isabelle, you're so perfect, be the queen. So, as you would if you got ignored your whole life and then, because of favoritism, your sister became queen. Rosabelle held a surprise party on Isabelle's birthday for her, where she then put Isabelle under an irreversible sleep spell. But the forest where she was sleeping kind of started stealing her magic, so everything went to chaos and the kingdom was thrown into chaos again. The royal family really caused a lot of problems. Maybe we just shouldn't have a monarchy. Other things happen in the game, like Rosabelle potentially drowning or not drowning in a lake and maybe dying. It's not clear. But basically, the heroes rescue Isabelle and it's like, yay! The kingdom is gonna recover and it's gonna go back to normal. In Trine 3, the 3 heroes go up to the Trine and they're like, hey, so it's really cool that we're immortal and heroes and all, but we really don't like the part where our souls are bound together. Can we please stop? And in response, the Trine shatters and releases an evil spirit on the Astral Academy. Anyway, the Trine is like, guys, if you fix me and you kill the spirit, I swear I will unbind you. I swear you can go back to normal if you please just do that, please. So they're like, fine, and they go save the day or whatever. I mean, they do save the day, but I don't actually know if they get, like, unbound and stuff, because the game kind of ends on a big cliffhanger because Frozenbyte couldn't afford to finish the game. Alright, now you're caught up with the Trine lore and the Greater Universe up to 2017, which is when Nine Parchments is a game made by Frozenbyte in 2017. The environments in this game are absolutely gorgeous. Every time I play it, I get obsessed with it all over again. Like, look at this. I want to live there. I mean, I could do without all of the creatures trying to kill me. I think we'd be friends. I'm not like other wizards. I'm friends with them all, and they all say hello and goodnight to me every single day. So, back to making real points about this game. The story begins with a group of wizarding students about to take a magic test at their school, the Astral Academy. However, sudden random explosion, oh no! 9 spell parchments have suddenly gone flying out of the tower window and out into the world. Now, because school sucks or something, you've decided to piss off and go recover the 9 parchments. That's right, 9 parchments exists within the universe of Trine, sometime after Trine 3. The Trine Game-matic universe continues here. Enough about the Trine Game-matic universe. Let me introduce to you the characters attending this school. First up are the 2 base characters you can play as from the start, Cornelius Crownsteed and Gislan of Alcyon. I will say it's pretty annoying that for a game that allows up to 4 different people playing co-op at once, new players can only choose from 2 of the 9 playables, and they all start with the same spells. I don't understand that one. Cornelius comes from a noble family and he won't shut up about the fact that he's a lord, because whenever he introduces himself he just has to bring that up. Like, get a personality trait other than being nobility. Now, it might be a surprise by this logic that there's a monarchy that's still kicking in this world, but trust me, a monarchy is not the worst thing about this universe, even if the whole Trine series was royal family drama. Anyway, because he's a loser, he's screwed off on the quest because he wants to make friends and also meet his family's expectations. Gislan is a witch and the youngest in her coven. She's only here on an exchange program that's really more of a business deal. Like, in exchange for the academy's teachings, the witches are gonna share some of their healing spells. She doesn't actually want to be at the academy in the first place. She's only trying to collect the spells so that she can graduate early and go home. And now, introducing the other 7 you unlock during the game. 9 characters for 9 parchments. Carabelle the Glacial comes from a long line of ice wizards, and she wants to go on this journey so that she can make her mark on the world like the rest of her family. She has, like, no regard for danger, so maybe she and I could both be friends with the evil creatures. Marvik the Turret is an older wizard. He didn't actually know he was a wizard for a while, and he was gonna retire with his wife Poppy, but then he accidentally set fire to their bakery with magic. He's joining them because he just wants to graduate so he can retire with his wife. Nim the Cleaner is the cleaner. He can't afford to pay for the academy, so instead he's working off his debt before and after classes as a cleaner. So yeah, indentured servitude is real. Fun. He's on the adventure because he just wants to not have to work off his debt anymore. He also wears a mask. That's what the mask is! That's what the point of the mask is! Rudolphus the Strange is a cat warlock who focuses a lot on death magic. Literally nobody knows why he can talk, why he's human-sized, and why he's bipedal, and he will not tell anyone. He doesn't care that much about graduating, he just thinks the inevitable destruction and chaos of a bunch of amateur wizards set loose on the world is really funny. Celius Heatherwood is the mandatory emo representation. He's a prince and he's locked in the academy's cellar for reasons. So, you know, everyone thinks he's kind of a freak because literally why is there a whole human in the cellars? He's got shadowy powers that he takes from the realm of dreams and nightmares. So everyone calls him the Nightmare Prince. We're gonna get back to that. Nobody knows why he's on the adventure, probably because he's tired of being locked up in the cellar. Look at that emo, he needs some sunlight. He has not touched grass in years. Owl! Owl is my favorite character. Full legal name is the Mechanical Owl. Owl is also near pronoun representation, oh my god, but literally. It's a self-mechanical creature who is capable of learning magic, especially electricity magic. It's been told by its classmates that money is important, so it's on the adventure so it can graduate and start working. That's right, baby. Capitalism, indentured servitude, and the monarchy are all real in the 9 Parchments universe. And last of all, Amadeus the Wizard. You should all be very familiar with him at this point. Otherwise, Amadeus is an older wizard who's here because he really wants to learn how to cast a fireball because he thinks it would be cool as hell. He has 3 children who all learned the fireball spell before the age of 2, but his ass is stuck making metal boxes and planks appear, apparently. That's the only reason he's on the adventure. This man is desperate to learn how to cast fireball. So you have these amateur wizards running around the world looking for spell parchments. What could go wrong? Honestly, this game would slap as a D&D campaign. Hey, wait, actually, if you're my players, you didn't see this video. Honestly, you get a lot of voice lines at the start of levels where all of the characters interact with each other. Though, obviously, you only get this in co-op between the characters you're all playing, respectively. It's actually really nice seeing them interacting and slowly becoming, like, friends. I spent forever going through the wiki and listening to them all. You can get dialogue between, like, 2, 3, and 4 characters, depending on what you guys are playing, so no one's characters get left out. Unless 2 of you are playing the same one, like, for example, if you started the game with 4 people and could only play 2 characters. So you go through the game and go around fighting creatures to get the spell parchments back. I felt really bad for this big shrimp in the first battle. It makes me so sad the way it falls. It's so cute and not its fault. Like, you're literally running into its home because it accidentally picked up a spell parchment and blasting it with magic until it collapses and it's just trying to fight back because just a game. I just feel really bad for it. But it's okay because you get to play Discount Club Penguin minecart game. Disney, please don't file a lawsuit against me. You will not win. Anyway, so when you finally collect all the parchments and are like, yeah, woo, let's graduate. Surprise, you actually have to go back to the academy because you have to perform a sealing spell to keep the spells. So journey back to the academy. Surprise, a lich has taken over the academy for some reason. Where are all the other wizards here? Where are the teachers? Did they all just abandon the academy? Like, okay, damn, guess this is her school now. Kind of based off the lich, to be honest. Oh, right, this is Anastasia the Lich. So basically you defeat the Lich and save the academy. Yay, win, sealing time. Wrong. The teachers appear after, I don't know, letting a bunch of amateur wizards defeat a super powerful Lich and take the spell parchments off them before they can do the sealing spell and are like, oh, I know you wanted to keep those spells that you ran around the country and risked your lives for, but we'll give you an A in the class for it instead, or something. And that's how the game ends. In the end credits, you get a short epilogue on what happened with the characters after this life-changing journey. Except I didn't really get it and had to watch it over YouTube even after beating this entire game again just for this video. Because I use captions for this game, and for some reason, since the epilogue is done as a voiceover in the credits, you don't get captions for it. So that's great. So, time to hear about what happened to everyone. Wait, what? The epilogue only tells you about Ghislain and Cornelius, and all you learn is that Cornelius went home for the summer and Ghislain spent it backpacking across the kingdom she just ran around killing monsters in. Okay, cool. So what happened to everyone else? What happened to any kind of character development? Did they just go back to studying at the academy like nothing ever happened? Do they just put Celius back in the basement? Has he touched too much grass? We sort of get an answer to this. If you remember when earlier I told you we'd come back to the Nightmare Prince thing, and how I mentioned Amadeus is originally from the Trine series. Yeah, well, let me introduce you to Trine 4, the Nightmare Prince. Trine 4, the Nightmare Prince happens because Celius escapes from the cellar, where, yeah, we discover he's still trapped there after the events of 9 Parchments. And our 3 heroes are tasked with bringing him back, which is really like, you sure they're heroes here? Because the entire game, Celius keeps going, I don't want to go back, they're gonna lock me up in the cellar again, please don't take me back. And they're like, it sucks for you, but I want to get paid. And also you've lost control of your powers and are turning everything into a dream or something. I do remember the boss battle absolutely sucking and having to use cheats to beat it when I played with my dad though. So yeah, he gets dragged back to the academy. You want to know what he did to deserve being locked in the academy basement? He accidentally released some soul shadow of his because his nightmare magic was unstable and it ruined his family's castle. So they sent him away and the academy was like, yeah, we don't know what to do about that. Get permanently sealed in the cellar, I guess? Like, he doesn't even get to attend lessons with other wizards. He's just trapped there. Anyway, back to the point of this game being the only way to get any sorts of closure on 9 Parchments. In the Melody of Mystery DLC for this game, which takes place shortly after Silius gets returned to the academy, some of the students are rehearsing for the autumn play. Cornelius finds a mysterious and magical box and decides with all of his brain cell to open it, releasing a spirit who traps all the students in a dream because she doesn't realize that sleeping forever is not good. Because Celius has dream magic, he's like, hey people who just kicked my ass and dragged me back to this hellhole, can you come save my friends? Because he's immune. The heroes wake everyone up, but have to, like, forcefully wake Cornelius up because he's enjoying the dream so much he doesn't want to. In the ending cutscene for this DLC, other than Cornelius, Amadeus, and Celius, Owl, Carabel, Rudolphus, and Gislan, Marvek and Nim are not present. Where are they? Did Marvek finally get to retire? Did he not want to be in the play? What about Nim? Why don't we get to see him? So the only closure we get is that they are all kind of our friends and still study at the academy, minus Marvek and Nim, who we can only assume. I'd like to think Nim escaped his indentured servitude and Marvek got to retire with his wife. The Avon is a river in England or something. But hey, you only get to know any of this through a DLC for a game in the same universe but different series to 9 Parchments, which doesn't provide any information at all. Honestly, after everything they went through, they deserve a found family trope. Please, where is it? Frozenbyte, I am begging you. Can they please have a silly happy ending where they are found family and nothing bad happens at all? It makes the game feel pointless. What journey do the characters go on throughout the game? What is the point of an ending that's such a letdown? The entire game revolves around you going on a journey with your peers, risking your lives to retrieve missing spell parchments so that you can complete your spellbook and graduate. But that ending gets snatched away from you when the parchments are instead returned to the academy, unable to reap the reward of your hard work. So instead, you're hoping for the real spell parchments were the friends we made along the way, at least. Something that doesn't make the game feel pointless. But no, you don't even get that. You barely get any closure. No information on what happens after the spell parchments are taken back. Absolutely nothing has changed from the start of the game, except that you'd like to think all the characters get to know each other a little better, and maybe even became friends. But we don't know that, because again, no closure. They still have the same amount of spells that they started with, no closer to graduating, and presumably have not changed as people. Unless this was the intention of Frozenbyte all along. In this society full of monarchies, indentured servitude, children locked in cellars, children being pawns in business deals, capitalism, and bipedal humanoid cats, one that truly mirrors our own, Frozenbyte, in a stroke of genius, have given us a more true-to-reality, grim ending. This isn't the happy, fun, D&D-like game. This is a painful reminder that, despite your best efforts, it's near impossible to rise up in a society trying to keep you down. And the only true way to win is to dismantle the system entirely. The characters of 9 Parchments do not seek to dismantle the system, instead seem intent on upholding it under the false belief that they too can succeed in it. Maybe the real loss of spell parchments was the lack of class consciousness we didn't find along the way. No, look, I can say without a doubt that this is not a... Oh. Hello. Wrong time. You've never seen me before. No, this is definitely a wizard game. Just not the one I'm familiar with. Spoilers. You'll have to look out in future for me. It's not that deep though. Well, at least this isn't the first time Frozenbytes forgot to give us a proper ending. It's a shame really, because this game is so beautiful and it really is fun to play it with friends. And not so bad on your own, honestly. One of the superior wizard games, at least. And I really enjoy the characters, their designs, their story, even the budding friendship between the group. I just wish that finishing the game felt rewarding. Like you'd actually done this for something. Like I said, we don't actually get to know if they've changed as people, if they developed, if they actually are still friends or not. What impact this had on anything. The very little we get in 9 Parchments only covers 2 of the 9 characters. And just like in Trine 3, if you want any closure on what happened, you'll find it via some Easter egg, or in this case, DLC in another game. So, Frozenbyte, you ready for a fistfight you're going to lose? Sorry guys, if you want to find out how this fist fight ends, you'll have to wait for a new video to come out. Alright, now I need to actually put effort into not failing my A-levels. Thank you so much for sitting through this. Remember to drink water and take your meds. Bye!